The second kind of skimmer I'd like to talk with you about is what's referred to as a box skimmer by most people. And this is one of them here. There are many different makes and models. The upshots of these kind of skimmers are pretty decent. This one came with a rock lid, which will pass for a real lock if you don't have too many real rocks right next to it. You can bury it in the ground up to about here, which means you get a good solid plant. It's not going to get kicked around or knocked over or flip out. The hose comes out down here, well below ground, so you don't have to worry about anyone tripping on the hose, breaking it, freezing, things like that. This helps a lot. It's a big upshot. And you might notice that this is stepped up all the way up to 1.5 inches, which is bigger than the last one. So you can run a higher flow rate pump through that, up to about 3,000 gallons an hour. So you can use this on a bigger pond or have a higher flow rate in a smaller pond, whatever suits you. It does actually attach to a liner. It has a bracket and a rubber seal to go in here. The liner goes in the sealed in the bracket, and it screws on the back side to the weir door. So you can actually mount that liner solid to this. Kind of helps to take away any problems with leaks, and it also keeps you from having that body of water behind the skimmer like on the last one. The weir door I'm not too impressed with. I don't like weir doors much to begin with, but this one has these neat rubber accordion sides that do exactly this after a couple of years, and then they don't let the skimmer door close. So when you shut off your pump, all the crud that's still floating tries to sneak back out in the pond. Not great about that, but it's got something that'll work. This bad boy was rocking a mesh net, which work all right. The only downside that I can really think of about this, as far as they go, would be if you have pine needles or any kind of thing like that that's going to fall in here, they get in this net like Velcro. And they're small enough they will still sneak past this and get into your pump, but once they're actually caught in here, it's really pretty difficult to get them back out. And these don't last forever. If you get about 5 years out of a mesh net, you've really got your life worth out of it. And this was made to sit down in here. And then behind it would be a bar connected down here with vertical brushes in it. Some of them have brushes, some of them have a pad, most of them have brushes. And then I do like the fact that behind the brushes you can hide your pump back here and have it out of sight, out of mind, but real easy to get to. Now the brushes will work. The good side about the brushes is they will not clog shut and let your pump run dry. But in knowing that, you also realize that if they never clog and your pump never runs dry, then there has to be somewhere that water's getting past without being filtered. So it's not as effective as a good seal on a metallic pad. Also, with a vertical pad and horizontal water flow, be it pad or brushes, they cannot be as effective as a horizontal pad having the water pulled down through it in a vortex pattern. The round pad is going to use the whole surface area, where this square pad standing upright is going to be real dirty down at the bottom and then almost nothing in the top because you're not using the whole pad. All in all, it's not a bad skimmer. They're definitely more pricey than the last one we talked about. This one was around $300, but I've seen them as low as about $200, and I've seen them as much about $450, even $500. So if it's something that'll work for you and that's in your budget range, go for it, give it a shot. It's not the best thing on the market, but it's certainly not the worst either. And it's kind of been a standard for a very long time. But the next skimmer that I'm going to show you is the skimmer that I would put in a pond that I'd build for you. And it's what I honestly think is the best thing on the market right now. It meets almost every criteria that I set up, and I'm pretty darn picky. I like to see a lot of action out of a skimmer. For the money you put into them, you really want to get the bang out of them for your buck. And the better equipment you use, the more enjoyable your pond will be, because that's that much less maintenance you have to do with it. So I'll see you on the next one. We'll discuss the third kind of skimmer. Have a good one.